I've still got lots to do for our report on nutritional food labels. Me too. What did you learn from doing the project about your own shopping habits? Where I've always had to check labels for choices of peanuts in everything. I eat because of my allergy, but beyond that I've never really been concerned enough to check how healthy a product is. This project has actually taught me to read the labels much more carefully. I tended to believe claims on packaging like low in fat, but I now realize that the healthy chocolate I've bought for years is full of sugar and that it's actually quite high in calories. Ready meals as a growth. Comparing the labels on supermarket pizzas was a real eye-opener. Did you have any idea how many calories they contained? I was amazed, just because unless you read the label very carefully, you wouldn't know that the nutritional values given are for half a pizza. When most, when most people eat the whole pizza, not exactly chance sovereign, is it? Not at all. But I expect it's going to start you from buying pizza properly, properly, not. No, I thought comparing the different labeling system used by food manufacturers was interesting. I think the color labeling system used makes a big difference. Which one did you prefer? I like the traditional daily value system best, the one which tells you what proportion of your required daily intake of each ingredient the product contains. I'm not sure it's the easiest for people to use, but at least you get the full story. I like to know all the ingredients in a product, not just how much fat, salt, and sugar they contain. But it's good supermarkets have been making an effort to provide reliable information for customers. Yes, there just needs to be more consistency between labeling systems used by different supermarkets in terms of portion size. The label on the different brands of chicken flavor crisps were quite revealing too, weren't they? There, I don't understand how can they get away with calling them current flavor when they only contain artificial additives. I know, I'd at least have expected them to contain a small percentage of real chicken. Absolutely. I think having nutritional food labeling has been a good idea. Don't you? I think it will change people's behavior and stop methods, in particular, buying the wrong things. But didn't that study kind of prove the opposite? People didn't necessarily stop buying unhealthy products. They only said that might be the case, though findings weren't that conclusive, and it would require a small-scale study. I think more research has to be done. Yes, I think you're probably right. What do you think of the traffic light system? I think supermarkets like the idea of having a color-coded system, red, orange, or green, for levels of fat, sugar, and salt in per product. But it's not been adopted universally. and not on own products. Why do you suppose that this pressure from the food manufacturers? Hardly surprising that some of them are opposed to flashing up to how unhealthy their products are. Art has thought it would have been compulsory. It seems ridiculous, is it? It isn't. I know, and what I couldn't get over is the fact that it was brought in without enough cons- consultation. A lot of experts had deep reservations about it. That is a big way. I suppose there's an argument for doing the research now when consumers are familiar with the system. Yeah, maybe the participants in the survey were quite positive about the traffic light system, but I don't think they targeted the right people. They should have focused on people with low literacy levels because their labels are designed to be accessible to them. Yeah, but it's good to get feedback from on social economic groups, and there wasn't much variation in their responses. No, but if they hadn't interviewed participants face to face, they could have used a much bigger sample size. I contest why they choose that method. Turner, how were they selected? Did they volunteer or were they approached? I think they volunteered. The thing that was stated was how often they bought packaged food. All we know is how frequently they used the supermarket.